happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got a reaction to Social Distortion for the first time on this channel, and their album Sex, Love, and Rock and Roll, brought to us by a friend, longtime patron and supporter of the channel, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons that make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. If you watch a lot of our videos, you know I say that every time because to us, it makes us be able to keep this channel going. We put up vids every single day. That is a lot of man hours, so appreciate all of the patrons. All right, I don't know anything about Social Distortion. Trey and I went through an album draft last year where we listened to 30 albums from every single year from 1965 to 2022 and did rankings, and you should go check that out if you haven't already. But I tell you that to say somehow Social Distortion got by me. I didn't listen to any Social Distortion albums. So a little background on them. They're an American punk rock band formed in 1978 in Fullerton, California, emerging from the Orange County hardcore scene of the late 70s to the early 1980s. They went on a temporary hiatus in the mid-80s due to Mike Ness's drug addiction and troubles with the law, which resulted in extended stints in various rehabilitation centers that lasted for 2 years. Following their reformation, the band had shifted its style to country, blues, and early rock and roll influenced style of punk. Since its inception, the band's lineup has had significant turnover, with Mike Ness being the one constant member. After 45 years of performing, they continue to tour and record music. To date, they've released 7 full-length studio albums, 2 compilations, 1 live album, and 2 DVDs. Let's get into this album. It is their 6th album, 31 in the US. It's the first studio album they had done in 8 years since the release of White Light, White Heat, White Trash, what a name, in 1996. The album was originally scheduled to be released in the fall of 2000, but was not yet completed. It was officially released in 2004. Ness had embarked on a solo career that partly caused this long delay. The album, and also one of their members died. The album is their first to feature guitarist Johnny Wickersham following the death of original guitarist Dennis Donnell in February 2000, so that also set them back, obviously. In 2005, the album was ranked 456 in Rock Hard magazine's book, The 500 Greatest Rock and Metal Albums of All Time. All right, all songs are written by Mike Ness, unless I otherwise note there's a couple that he has a co-writer on. If you haven't watched one of our videos before, the music will not be in the video, but it'll be at a Vimeo link below, so go down and check it out with me. All right, let's kick this thing off with the album opener, Reach for the Sky. First single went to number 27 on the modern rock charts here in America. Singer-guitarist Mike Ness went through a period of heroin addiction in the late 80s. This is one of the songs he wrote to talk about what he learned from that period in his life. It's dedicated to the late Dennis Donnell, Mike Ness's childhood friend and former rhythm guitarist of Social Distortion, who passed away in 2000 at the age of 38 due to a brain aneurysm. So that is what the material is telling me this song's about, but I'm going to have the lyrics up as always so we can figure it out for ourselves. Thanks again, Robert. Reach for the Sky, a fantastic song. Got to shout out the drumming of Charlie Quintana. Very important in this style of music, the guitar work by Mike on lead guitar and also lead vocals. Johnny Wickersham on there on rhythm as well. John Maher on there as backing vocals. Got to throw a shout out to him. So that was really good. But I thought the lyrics were really well done, right? When I was young, I was invincible. Don't we all think that, or almost all of us? I find myself now thinking twice. I never thought about no future. It's just a roll of the dice. But the day may come when you got something to lose, and just when you think you're done paying dues and you say to yourself, dear God, what have I done? And hope it's not too late, because tomorrow may never come. And then we get that chorus, reach for tomorrow, or reach for the sky, because tomorrow may never come. Then he gets into the thing where he's kind of talking about his girl, let's stay together. And then verse 4, the last verse, so if you please take this moment, try if you can, make it last. Don't think about no future and just forget about the past and make it last. Reach for the sky, because tomorrow may never come. Give everything you got and appreciate the moment you're in. And don't do some self-destructive stuff, boys and girls, where you go, I don't think I'm going to live that long. It's not going to matter. And then you live a long time and your body's going, what did you do? So really good message there from Mike. Now we'll head over to the second track, Highway 101. Highway 101, another really good song, man. Very nice melodies on this, even though you've got a harder edge to it, right? Great guitar work. But, you know, they're going up the Highway 101, which he'll pass Ventura and Santa Barbara too. So California, man, he's going up with his girl. He's got his girls with him, and of course, listen to the Boulevard, listen to the Falling Rain. I believe in love now with all of its joys and pains. It's a love song, right? As much as it can be in this style of music. And that's kind of what that song is about. But I liked it, man. I like the sound so far of Social Distortion. Next up, we got Don't Take Me for Granted. A lot of people say this is about Dennis' passing, you know, and Mike said he was devastated, obviously following it, saying, "I'm saddened beyond any possible form of expression. Dennis and I have been friends since boyhood, starting Social Distortion together while we were in high school. My deepest regrets to his family." All right, don't take me for granted. You know, it's written from the perspective he's writing it to the girl, but a lot of people think, you know, he was writing it about the passing of his friend, and just kind of putting it in that context. And I think it's impossible not to take stuff for granted in life, right? Because it's just there all the time, whether it's a person, a job, a whatever, like a pet, whatever it is. It's always there until it's not, right? And then you're like, man, I shouldn't have taken that for granted. So it's a difficult thing. But none of us as human beings in our relationships with other people want to be taken for granted. And that's kind of what he's doing here. You know, he's telling this person he's been with her forever, right? I'm your warning weather jacket. I'm the dreams you had walking down the track, you and me. I'm your first taste of romance. I'm your first broken heart on a Saturday night. Guys like us ain't got no chance. But I'm the thing that keeps you and me alive, but not forever. So he's just telling her to do all this stuff, you know, and I'm that wave you caught back in 1975. So like, I'm always going to be with you, because at the very end, of course, I'm with you when you're born. You can take me when you die, with all the reasons why, but don't take me for granted. Man, this album so far is 3 for 3, man. I super am stoked about how this album's going so far. Let's go to Footprints on My Ceiling. All right, Footprints on My Ceiling. Wow, you know, I'm getting a little worried here. I picked my faves of every album, and right now I'm like, is it going to be the whole album? I don't know, man. But that song was fantastic too. Very well constructed song. The guitar work on here was great, which I'm assuming mainly was Mike. And this is a story about a girl who stole his heart and walked away from him and didn't care, right? And I think a lot of us, if we've lived life long enough, have been there. The chorus, how do you talk without speaking? Yeah. How do you hear without listening? How do you live without feeling? Yeah. How do you take without giving and keep it all inside? And that's where again, there are footprints on my ceiling. I can't help this effed up feeling. Something's wrong. You ain't coming around here no more. Try to get my thoughts together. I think of a time when things were better. This miscommunication is breaking me down. And the way he sings, breaking me down. Like, I'm not going to say Mike has some fantastic voice, but his voice is perfectly suited for these arrangements, man. I think it's just really, really good. All right, now we got Nickels and Dimes. One of 3 songs on here that Mike co-wrote with Johnny Wickersham, the rhythm guitarist. All right, Nickels and Dimes, a little quicker pace song. The worst song on this so far, and if you listen to that song, it's a pretty darn good song, right? And so far, it's the worst one of the 5. That's a pretty good indication of how good this album is. But great lyricism here, though. You know, he's chasing nickels and dimes, right? So that's just kind of a saying for you're not really going anywhere in life. You kind of got low expectations. You're aiming low. You know, he just says all the things he is. I'm a Cadillac tramp at the end of his road, a swamp meat rat who's sitting on gold. Yeah, baby, I'm a guitar gangster without a tune. I'm the baseball bat that's waiting to swing. And then, of course, I'm chasing nickels and dimes. The rest of the world passes me by. I'm just wasting my time. I'm just sitting here wondering why. Just all the little things. I'm a jailhouse poet, a genius, a fool. I've got first-class taste in a second-class town. So I thought that was really good. I'm a big-time schemer with broken down dreams. I'm a derelict rebel without a cause. I ain't the cat with the sharpest claws. No, baby. Because sometimes life just isn't what it seems. So I have really good writing on this. I will kick off the second half of the album with I Wasn't Born to Follow. I wasn't born to follow. Mike just wasn't born to follow, right? And a lot of us aren't wired that way. We're not born to follow. He says, when I grow up, gonna be a star, gonna sing my songs and play my guitar. I'm ready, gonna change the world, gonna turn the page, gonna say what I feel, let out this rage, get ready. We're going down to the streets below. And he just kind of builds on that. You know, the chorus, we're going down to the streets below because I wasn't born to follow. No, maybe a little autobiographical here. I think a lot of rock stars were not born to follow. I get that. Next up, let's go to Winners and Losers. Winners and Losers, great melody on that, right? Great songwriting, again, by Mike, man. It's the biggest surprise for me on this album is just how strong the songwriting is. But, I mean, they sound great, but this is kind of the dichotomy of life, right? All these opposites, and a lot of times they end up in the same place. There's saints and sinners. Life's a gamble, and you might lose. There's cowards and heroes. Both have been known now to break the rules. There's lovers and haters. The strong and the weak will all have their day. We're devils and angels. Which one will I be today? That's the second verse. And then the chorus, are you happy now with all the choices you made? Are there times in life when you know that you should have stayed? Will you compromise and realize the price is too much to pay? Winners and losers, which one will we be today? I mean, for a guy who's lived a lot of life, I'm 51, like this song really resonates with me, right? You can look back on your life, obviously, in retrospect and go, yeah, maybe I don't have any regrets, right? I believe I'm where I'm supposed to be in life. God has me where He has me for a reason. But then you look back at things and go, "Wow, maybe could have handled that better. Maybe I should have done this instead of that." So, a really good retrospective song there. Next up, we have another one of those songs that he wrote with Johnny Wickersham. We have "Faithless." Faithless, just kind of warning a guy not to let his walls down. He may fall in love. And I remember a time I believed that the words love and pain were both one and the same. I'm going to trade in my old ways for a new shot at life. I'm going to change my direction. I'm going to change my ways. And then, of course, don't let your walls down. You might fall in love. You might fall in love. They're crashing down now. It's you I'm thinking of. You might fall in love. It's you I'm thinking of. We might fall in love. Let's fall in love. So a good song. Next up, Live Before You Die. We still got 2 songs left. Live Before You Die. Just some nice guitar work on this one. And, just kind of a message of, even though you've had some bad stuff happen, you kind of got to turn the page and live your life right before you die instead of dwelling in what hasn't gone right. Like he starts out that song, when pressure's up and the stress is high and I want to bid this world goodbye, I'm going to bury my frustrations, grab some of life's satisfactions. Yeah, I got to live before I die. I try to find some peace of mind when my life's treating me unkind. Yeah, pain will be my motivation. I'm going to use my imagination. Yeah, I'm going to live before I die. And then, of course, so close your eyes and embrace your memories. Leave your troubles and your worries far behind. Stop contemplating and start celebrating. Yeah, you got to live before you die. So all of us has some really bad stuff happen to us in our lives, right? If we live long enough. And you can dwell on that. Doesn't mean you can just get rid of it at the snap of the fingers, but you got to, if you keep dwelling in it, you're never going to move forward, right? So you got to try to move forward and live that life before you die, because I can tell you one thing, at 51 years old, life moves very, very quickly. All right, last track, another one he wrote with Johnny Wickersham. We got Angel's Wings. Angel's Wings, second longest song on here. Good way to finish this album out. I thought Mike sounded really good on it. Basically, he's encouraging this girl, even though she's been down on life, that it's them, right, that's going to be the great thing in her life. He tells her towards the end, I triumphed in the face of adversity and I became the man I never thought I'd be. And now my biggest challenge, a thing called love. I guess I'm not as tough as I thought I was. I don't care what they say. I want to marry you someday. When I wake up, it's a brand new day. Angel's wings going to carry you away. And then he repeats, carry you away, carry me away, carry us away. And then three times, carry us away. So a nice bit of songwriting, which you might have heard me say once or twice on this album. So that's going to bring me to my favorite track, somewhat of a difficult thing to do on this album. Honorable mentions, Highway 101, Winners and Losers, just great lyrics on that. And Live Before You Die. Faves are going to be Reach for the Sky, Don't Take Me for Granted, and Footprints on My Ceiling. Now we'll get to my overall score. There's only 10 songs on here, and that was what, 1, 2, 3. That was 6 things that made and the other ones could have very well easily made it as well. Didn't know any Social Distortion before I came into this. Let me tell you something. I got to throw a shout out to Mike Ness. His vocals are great for this style of music. Like I said, he doesn't have that pitch perfect voice, but it works so well with this, and his lyrics are fantastic. Just so well written. A seasoned writer, a guy seasoned in life, reflecting on things. Really, really good. The arrangements, the guitar playing between him and you got Wickersham on the rhythm, John Maher on the bass guitar and backing vocals. Not bass driven, this style of music, but it's still necessary. Charlie Quintana great on the drums, and Dan McGow, I should have mentioned him earlier, comes in on the B3 organ on several of these tunes. Sometimes just barely, in a couple tunes, he's on there a little more than just as a background guy, but really well done there. So overall score for this album, I'm going to be a sky high 8.5 on first listen. I don't know how this one got by me on our album draft. It definitely would have made my top 5 for that year. But thank you to Robert for bringing this to me, a little treasure. I might check out more of these guys, but I'm going to give this album a listen again for sure. And let me know what you guys thought of this one in the comments below. What else should I check out from Social Distortion? And until next time, guys, I will see ya.